Hello, and thank you for clicking on my channel, Kelly Legends Media. I'd like to thank all of you who have subscribed thus far. I think we're down to about 100 more people to complete 4,000 subscribers. We're in our 4th month. I think that's pretty good. So I want to thank each and every one of you once again. I know I do all the time when I start a video, but I want to give a special thanks. Okay, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Doesn't cost anything to subscribe to my channel. And also hit that notification bell so that when a video does drop, you'll be notified. You can go back later on and you can watch the video when you have time. Also, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, definitely give it a thumbs down. Your opinion is very important. Okay? Also, please leave a comment at the end of the video. Let me know what you guys think. I always enjoy reading them and also discussing some of the things that are brought up in the comment section. It's all part of the YouTube entertainment and also learning experience and entertainment experience. Okay, so let me get a little comfortable here. Okay, so this video it's not a very it's kind of a rough video, rough to talk about the subject matter that I'm going to be discussing. Hopefully it doesn't affect and hasn't affected a lot of people, but I'm going to talk about things, sicknesses, diseases, I should say, that you pick up inside jail and in prison while doing time. Also in the streets, if you're out in the street and you're getting high and you're doing certain kind of administration of chemicals or opiates, you can very easily contract one of these diseases. And a lot of people are walking around with them. You know, people that you and I know, people that you wouldn't suspect. And not just only these people that I mentioned so far. There's other people who have contracted these diseases, doctors, lawyers, just people that throughout life have come in contact with these nasty viruses and bacterias, you know. Okay, so the first one I'm going to mention is tuberculosis. I mentioned that one because that one's not as bad as the other. Okay, now tuberculosis, if you've done time in the county jail, like in the 70s, 80s, there was a lot of tuberculosis being spread. The way that it's most commonly spread is through people coughing and not covering their mouths. You know, and when you cough or when you speak, you're omitting spray and spittle. You know, you're into the air, and other people breathe it. You know, tuberculosis can kill you. You begin to bleed in your lungs, and it's a sickness and a disease that you can die from, especially if your immune system is compromised. Okay. I don't know how I contracted tuberculosis, but at some point I did. And while I was in prison, I went through a treatment where I had to go take medication regularly for about, I think it was like 6 months. I had to go periodically and take this big old tablet. So since I've been testing for tuberculosis, it never appears. Okay, so apparently the tablet did its job. But I remember when I was in there, one of my homeboys told me, "Hey, homie, you can't be coming and getting these pills like this. It's against the rules." Well, I think he was misinformed. You know, I think if psychotic pills, antipsychotic pills are frowned upon, but this was medication for a sickness. You know, for a disease. Of course, everybody knows about AIDS, how AIDS is spread. That's spread by people sharing needles. It's a blood-borne disease. In other words, it lives in the blood and in certain body fluids for a certain amount of time. And when those body fluids are passed on to another human being, they become infected with that virus. At some point, that HIV virus turns into AIDS and compromises your immune system, where things like pneumonia and tuberculosis and other diseases take you out because your body can't fight them. You know, you haven't really heard too much about AIDS lately. They have a very good treatment out that they give the victims of that virus, but it's still around. You could also get it. You can also catch it by sexually transmitting it, of course. It was real heavily transmitted in the homosexual community. But a lot of people who use drugs also got it by sharing needles. Not just by sharing the needle itself, because people were bleaching them and stuff to kill the virus, but people had a bad habit of sharing the water. You know, the glass of water that they pick up and fill the syringe with to cook the, I'm gonna call it the opiate. Okay, they put blood in it sometimes. There's little droplets of blood at the end of the needle, and they'll drop it in there. And then somebody, hey man, let me get some water, and they'll pick it up, and you know, and they'll share that disease with each other. You know, Hep C is another disease that's a bloodborne disease, and you pass it on pretty much the same way. You could even pass Hep C, I hear, from even sharing coffee, you know, sharing cigarettes. You know, if you've got a cut on your lip or something not visible, and you're bleeding, and you know, you take a hit on the frajo and you pass it, or the cigarette and you pass it, somebody else gets it, and they have a cut somewhere in their mouth, and that virus skids across, gets into that cut, and yeah, Hep C. Hep C is very deadly. Takes a lot of people out, especially people in prison. In prison, one of the most common things that can spread diseases is the, how can I say it, the pins that they use to inject themselves with these opiates. Okay, the outfits. You know, they get tainted with this virus, and hey homie, hey, let me your outfit, man. I got me a little something. Ahí te va, boom. They shoot the outfit down the tier. The guy gets it. He's all excited. He don't clean it right, or they don't have bleach. He don't care. He just wants to hurry up and do his thing because he's sick. Iñacas. He's got Hep C. Hep C attacks the liver. Once that stuff gets deep in your liver, it causes liver cancer. It causes other things to happen with your liver, where you die. It kills you. They're deadly. All three of these diseases are deadly. People are walking around, they're carrying them. People are walking around with Hep C, they're carrying them. People you know have Hep C, and it's kept quiet. Why? Because it's kind of like I don't know the right term for it, but it's like taboo. If you have that, you know, it's like, you know, I remember when AIDS first came out, people were scared to visit people who had AIDS. You know, they were afraid to touch their things. They were afraid to get next to them, in fear that they might contract the disease from them. Same thing goes with Hep C. Tuberculosis, you very rarely hear about it, because most people who have had Hep C just take those pills and it knocks it out. You know, I myself also contracted Hep C very, very early in the game when I first started using opiates. I caught it from the guy who started me on using, okay, who later became my compadre, later became my homeboy, and later disappeared for reasons unbecoming, let's just say. But before he did it, he left me with a little gift of a deadly disease that he contracted. He actually came and he warned me, and he says, "Hey, I think you got Hep C." And I go, "What?" I go, "What is that?" He explained it to me, and I told him, "Why would I have it?" He goes, "Because I got it." And I go, "Well, so why would I have it?" He says, "Because we did that thing together, and we shared that we shared that pen, that outfit, you know. And sure enough, about a week later, I was sick. My eyes were yellow. I was sick like a dog. My mom took me to the hospital, and yeah, they said it was Hep C. Well, that was at least 40 years ago. I mean, I'm being kind to myself. Let's just say 40 years ago, that I got that news from the doctor that day at White Memorial Hospital, and since then I've been tested several times. Well, my viral load is so low that the Hep C is barely detectable, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing. Why? Because they wouldn't treat me for it. I want to be treated. I want to take that pill to where it's completely wiped out. But they won't. Your viral load needs to be a certain level. It needs to be high enough for you to qualify for this treatment, right? And I'm going to get checked in the very near future once again, and see what happens. You know, so far they won't treat me because of the viral load being so low. It's barely detectable, you know. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles for some of us, you know. I know a lot of people who've taken the treatment. It makes them sick, makes them feel like shit, but in the end, it preserves their life. You know, it removes that disease, that virus from their system, to where they don't have to worry about it killing them one day. Anyways, I thought I'd do a video about this. I know that it's probably not going to get monetized, number one. Number two, it's probably not going to get a lot of views. Why? It's just like people really don't want to hear about it. People don't want to pay attention to things like this, you know? And that's okay. But hopefully somebody who needs to hear about it hears about it, and become very, very cautious about decisions that they make that can get them sick. You know, if you get incarcerated, man, for some retarded reason, you make a bad choice and a bad decision that gets you locked up, man, don't share cups, man. Don't share bowls. Hey, homie, let me get some of that sopa. Oh, man, it's just bomb, you know? Yeah, there va. And you just got yourself a little bit of a TB or a little bit of Hep C, you know? You got to be careful, man. You know, that stuff's still very, very real. Although there's not a lot of education about it anymore, or it's not talked about anymore, it's still very, very, very much real. So be careful with that. And in the streets, the same thing, man. You know, you got to be careful with who you're hanging around with, man. Don't share nothing with nobody, man. Stay away, you know, from all of their utensils and stuff, you know, like they're eating, you know. Hey, homie, you want some? No, hey, thank you, homie, I'm all right, you know. Or, you know, if you're gonna do something, man, go get your own equipment, and you know, if you insist in killing yourself that way, at least don't make it quick, you know. Like, go get your own equipment, and don't share stuff, man, because all these diseases are still very, very much real. They're still very much killing people every single day, you know, and it's just not talked about as much, you know. So I just wanted to do this video. It seems like when I do videos like this, somebody acknowledges, like, hey, you know, I'm glad you did that, for whatever their reasoning is, and I hope this happens with this video, because I'm sure it's not going to get many views, and I'm not going to get paid for it. I don't care. I'm just putting a little caution out there for those of you who still live these risky lives and put yourself out there at risk of contracting one of these sicknesses and diseases. Please be careful. You could get your family sick also. Yeah, this ain't a game, man. This is real life. Thank you for watching. God bless you. And I hope you find this video valuable in some way. Share it if you think that somebody might need to hear this, or if you think it's a type of education that somebody you love might need to hear, so that if they end up somewhere, they'll know what to watch out for, you know. It's just a little heads up. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope to see you on the next video. God bless you. God bless your family. And let's stay strong and let's stay free. All right, so we could be out here to help our family and our loved ones when they call upon us. We could be there for them. That being said, take care. Thank you for watching.